Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have read and enjoyed. Uh, Unlike usual, this is not a latest read. This is a book that I read last year, and it was sometime in August September of 2024 that I finished reading the book. And it's called The Fabulous Mums of Champion Valley. And my guest is the author of that book, Zarreen Khan, and we are going to have an interesting conversation with her regarding that book because it's a really fun read and I had a lot of hi Zareen, my guest is here. Yeah, so hi Nilshri, thank you for joining. And this is a book that was what kickstarted another book related segment on my page, which is called the Fabulous Four. And I and my three other bookworm friends started this with this book, and we are going to talk to that author. I think she's already here. Let me invite her. Read it. Hi, Tina. Thank you for joining. Hi, Shreya. Hi, Bong Reader. I think the invitation didn't go through. Let me try again. Okay, I've sent you a fresh invitation, Zareen. See if you received it. Okay. There's a problem with Instagram. It always takes a few attempts for the guest to join me. Stay connected. Sorry for the delay, but Instagram के साथ हमेशा ये problem रहता ही है.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Zareen.
how are you?
I'm just going to confirm with the audience whether they can see both of us because I can't see you. Can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Nilshri, Amreen, can you let us know in the comments if both of us are visible? Yes, okay, Nilshri confirmed.
Oh,
Okay, so first of all, Zareen, welcome to the show. I am so
thank
happy.
you.
So,
Yeah,
so
so am I. I'm so glad to be here.
yeah, and matlab, I to completely enjoyed reading your book, and I've been behind you for ever since the time that I read the book that I want you
Oh,
on this show. So,
I'm sorry, that was my bad. I've just been so caught up. My kids are very young, so I'm perpetually, trying to figure out their schedules and stuff. But I'm so glad we're finally doing this.
yes, and I'm very happy because your book led us to a journey that we never planned. Me and my three bookstagram friends, we had all together finished reading your book. सबने
Yeah.
एक ही टाइम पे वही बुक पढ़ी थी एंड वी वर थिंकिंग कि यार हमें इतना मजा आया है ये बुक रीड करने में मे बी वी शुड टॉक अबाउट इट एंड लेट अदर पीपल ऑल्सो नो व्हाई वी लव्ड इट सो मच
I
एंड दैट्स हाउ
think
फैबुलस
it's
स्टार्टेड.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that you guys are doing because it's a very lively conversation, right? And then I mean, which was the last one you did? You did one pretty recently as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, it's nice to get different perspectives on board. So I'm glad it sparked off something.
Yes, and always fun to talk about books and writing. So I'm glad that I'm going to finally talk to you also about the same book that started off this
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
Now, coming to your book, The Fabulous Mums of Champion Valley, मतलब मजा ही आ गया. The characters that you have woven, इतने different characters है और सबके अलग quirks है. I enjoyed reading about all of them. मतलब even if they are coming for just a little bit, they add that drama to the entire story, which is what I absolutely loved. And another thing I loved is because Ambika's character is relatable to for me. I worked as a teacher for a year, so मुझे बहुत रिलेटेबल लगा अंबिका का कैरेक्टर बिकॉज यू नो द वे शी वाज स्ट्रगलिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड ये सब ऐसा क्यों चल रहा है ये स्कूल में दैट वाज टोटली
You
मी.
know, you had said that in one of your lives as well. I think the same famous Ford live that you were doing, and I was so relieved to hear it because I hadn't spoken to any teachers before writing the book. I had just,
Oh.
I haven't had the guts to kind of go and speak to teachers who have read the book now because I was just taking a punt. I was trying to imagine myself in their shoes. And honestly, the first draft, or when I had at least conceived the idea, it was supposed to be solely from the parents' point of view. And then I said, actually, what does the teacher go through? And then when you said that you had been a teacher, and it was so real, and those PTMs came back to you, I was very relieved to hear that.
Yeah. Well, before going ahead, I'm just going to show everyone the cover of the book, The Fabulous Moms of Champion Valley. This is the book that we are talking about, written by Zarreen, and absolutely wonderful book. Go check it out. Contemporary fiction में अगर fun read चाहिए आपको, तो I definitely recommend this.
Thanks.
Yes. And before we go ahead and I barge you with the questions that I have, I want to read out one of my favorite bits from the book. There are two instances that made me laugh like anything. One was the incident where Riddhi is talking about one of the characters, Riddhi. She was my favorite character, by the way. Her and Ambika, मतलब इतना मजा आया उनके बारे में रीड करके.
Yeah.
So, this is when she is talking to her husband about. So, she has two children, and the younger child, he's a little of a mischievous and naughty child, and he has been a problem for all the caretakers that they have around him. सब भाग जाते हैं क्योंकि वो बहुत बदमाश है. So, this is one such incident where the driver has run off. I'm just searching for that page. Uh, Forgive me because I'm on the ebook version and I had read the paperback, so I don't remember which part is the ebook about there. Uh, can you guide me to the page number if possible? I am talking about the Kacha
I
Badam or like.
actually, yeah, I don't have the book with me right now, but I know it's in the initial chapters of Riddhi's initial chapters somewhere.
Yes, yes, found it, found it.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's having a conversation with her husband, and this is how it goes. I got so angry. I became Ag Babula. What's it called in English? I became fume. Why did Hirsch think I only do Siappa? So this is a characteristic quirk of Riddhi. उसका English थोड़ा सा colloquial है, and she has that हिंदी बीच में घुस जाता है उसके English में, which also I found absolutely adorable and funny. So that's how she's talking to us. I got so angry. आग बबूला ये सब आ रहा है. Okay. And the husband is replying, what all Siappa have I done that you think I only do? Why do you think your wife only is always wrong? Riddhi is asking. He became gentler and sat next to me. I pushed him away and pulled my purple silk dressing gown from under him. Are you still thinking about the stupid note? Tears welled up in my eyes. Her cheese may my fault. Shivam threw Alexa on driver, my fault. When did he throw Alexa? When it keeps giving Wikipedia definition of Kacha Badam instead of playing the song. But on the driver was standing outside. What can I do? We need to take him to a counselor, Riddhi. His temper tantrums are too much. I told him the same thing. You have too much tantrums, bhaiya ji. Bacha hai. I meant Shivam. I meant Shivam. He needs counseling. I lost it. तुम्हारा बस चले तो everyone should go to counselor. Shivam for anger, Sayara for high IQ, and me for psycho obsession with food. We are Punjabi, Harsh. We like our food. You do too much diet, exercise, Harsh. It's Diwali week and I'm eating banana before going for dinners, having beetroot juice instead of cocktails, eating dates instead of dessert. God knows why I was discussing food. Maybe it was because I saw a reel on how people of Gujarat are making chocolate ice cream idli vada and it made me want to cry. He said softly, holding my hand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for putting pressure on you. I am only 69 kgs, Harsh. I argued weakly. Maybe argued is not the right term. Lied is more accurate. There are bigger women than me also. Vikas ki biwi, Ajit ki biwi, Tanu, Kitty, Madhuri. Arey yaar, it's not about them and it's not about fat either. So then what? I was crying now. Stupid damn tears, spoiling carefully but expensive put night cream. Am I not pretty anymore? I know thoda I do have stomach, but and then it goes on further. मैं
Yeah.
इतना हंसी हूँ ना वो कच्चा बादाम वाला पार्ट सुन के एंड देन शी सेड हाँ वो भैया जी को काउंसलर की जरूरत है वो तो बच्चा है.
Yeah, it's great fun writing comedy. Surrounded by it in any case.
Yes. So based on that, I actually had a few questions for you. And my first question is actually this, that you have such an array of characters in all the entirety of the story. We have the moms, we have the teachers, we have the admin staff and other people also. We have the husbands of those mothers. So take us through the journey of how you came up with the characteristics of all these, colorful characters that you have in the book. Was there any point that you felt कि इस character को यही trait देना चाहिए, or something that you added later on or maybe removed later on? Take us through the entire journey of that.
Yeah. This is something that I think a lot of us struggle with when we're writing, because all these characters come alive in our head. But when you actually start writing them down, you have to also remember the reader and kind of try and figure out whether they're coming alive as distinct personalities in their head as well.
Hmm.
So, it takes multiple iterations of each character to
Hmm.
kind of start defining them. And then, so simple things, when you're reading a book which is being written by an international author, you will
Hmm.
not, you're unfamiliar with those names,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. So, I'll give you an example. I read a book called Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, which is by a Japanese
Hmm.
author, and there was a character called Takano, and there was a character called Takuso.
Okay.
Okay, now as a reader, the minute I see the first four or five letters of the name are the same, I can't process it in my head. So I have to go back and say, oh, okay, is this the girl? Is this the boy?
Hmm.
So it starts with something as basic as that, right? When you're just giving them a physical description
Yeah.
or a personality and a name, so that
Hmm.
it sounds different. So you can't. So while in real life you may meet a lot of people whose names start with A, in a book it's as simple as saying, let me give this person a slightly different name so that
Hmm.
it stands out as a different
Hmm.
personality.
Hmm.
So those characters come to your mind, and then they all, they're all there in your head, and you start putting them down. But who actually makes it till the end of the book is a journey that you go through as an author as well, and then you say, I can knock this one off, I can add this one, or whatever, or this one, it's only important to get the name in, but not the rest of the personality. And for this book, I think the voice is mine, right? So I can only write in a particular voice, but to give them different voices. So Riddhi is very Riddhi. Even if you had not told me that this is Riddhi speaking, she
Hmm.
would, if you read her pages, or you just, because they're all in first person, you'll be able to
Hmm.
tell it's her.
Yes.
So and so for example, she, like you said, is colloquial. There's
Hmm.
another one who is very brash, right? So then her language, everything is therefore very brash, and therefore it has to stay consistent through the writing journey. So yeah, I don't think there's any defining process, but just revisiting again and again and looking at everything from that character's point of view helps, and
Hmm.
it really helps having an editor who can give you that input as well.
Yeah, I totally understand the importance of having a good editor and their
Yeah,
inputs in the making of a story. So,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, okay, thank you for sharing that, which also brings me to my next question. I'm just going to pull it up here. I have written down the questions because I was so excited to have you, and I've been having these questions in my mind for the past 6 months now. So,
That is so sweet.
yes. So, actually, a follow-up question to related to what you just said. What was the idea in your head when you decided to give all the characters and their chapters a first-person voice? Was there anything in your head you wanted to make them more authentic, or was there any other reason also?
Um, again, so when it was a journey, so I think the first chapter I ever wrote of this book was from Kainaz's point of view. And now that you read it, the whole book, a lot of people have said that she was the weakest character. So imagine where you start from, where you think that
Okay.
that's your protagonist,
Hmm.
and actually the journey that you make, you've somehow got another character in who takes the lead.
Hmm.
In fact, my book before this, my previous book, was about a socialite, and it was told from the point of view of her best friend.
Okay.
And till I did the, when I was telling the socialite story in my own voice or whatever, or that this happened, the series of events, I realized that it wasn't working, and therefore I brought the best friend's voice to tell her story.
Oh.
Yeah, so it just it adds a little bit of edge, and it also gives you creative freedom. So having multiple characters and me telling their story was taking away from the plot, because there are so many characters in this book. And
Hmm.
therefore, while they all needed work to get their personality out, I think it was worth that investment of time in giving each of them shape and giving them their own voices to make this book more easily digestible.
Okay. Oh, I love this input, and definitely it's going to help me write stories in the future which have multiple characters. I'll keep this in mind. Giving them their own voice definitely helps me on when you are writing
Right.
multiple character story. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. And now to the important question that I have had for so long in my mind, because I have already mentioned in my caption in my review also, okay, this is one of the books that made me laugh so much after a very long time. तो मुझे ये बात पूछनी थी कि how did you balance the humor with the seriousness of the message that you were trying to portray, कि आजकल education में क्या हो रहा है, schools में क्या हो रहा है, uh, and all of that is there also, but it's all very layered and it's told in a funny manner, quirky manner. So how did you manage to put across this message while also balancing it with humor which makes us laugh so much? How did you achieve that, and did you at any point feel like कि ये message में add कर रहा है, or is it taking away or removing from the ultimate takeaway that you wanted to give with the story? And were there any certain scenes or dialogues that you added or removed while getting a better understanding of this takeaway?
Okay, so first of all, Manali, thank you for that, because one is to get a feedback like that from the reader, that why, how did you manage to add layers to the story? But the other is also a huge compliment when it comes from another author. So I feel very I'm so happy that it had that impact as well. So uh, yeah, so when I kind of started out, it always, a book always starts off with a serious thought, right? And then you choose the voice you give
Yeah.
it. So honestly, the kind of books I like to read are light reads. They are books which are easy to
Yeah.
read, and which are fun, and books which are very preachy, or which become a lot more serious. I read them, but they're not my favorite sort of books, and they're
Mhm.
sort of books that I need to consume at a particular time,
Hmm.
right? So, in a lighter read, either you can have just a lot of humor, or you can have a little bit of substance.
Hmm.
And since an idea always starts with that substance, then I'm adding the froth to it,
Hmm.
rather than doing a frothy layer and then figuring out what the substance is going
Hmm.
to be.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, maybe the meatiness of the story could have come in a lot
Hmm.
sooner, or the layers could have started showing a lot sooner. But because I had so many characters, I had to spend a substantial part of the book building up those characters, so that then you could empathize with what is going on. And therefore, the first half of the book is, you don't really know where it's going. It's just a series of incidents, but
Hmm.
actually, it's a build up to what is going to unfold. And therefore, if I had to rewrite the whole book, if I had to come out with a part two, maybe it will be a lot more substance and layers right from the start, rather
Hmm.
than building up of the froth
Hmm.
itself before, yeah, before getting into the layers, as you put it.
Yes, wonderfully put. And yes, since you have so many characters, it definitely takes a lot of time to build them up and to show how they are all coming together to that one particular goal that they are trying to achieve, which is,
Yeah,
ultimately all of them have that one goal, which is to provide a good education to the children.
right.
And yeah, and that
And
comes
it's not an easy journey. I think that was the crux of the idea when I started. I say it's not easy,
yeah.
you know. And there is no, so that was one of them, and the other was, it's not an easy journey. And when you start off, you're surrounded by strangers in the
Hmm.
same life stage, and you're judging each other, so
Yeah.
then that was key to the book, which is that,
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you have to stop judging people for what you just see, and you're not being able to go down further and figure out who they really are or what their background is, or so some of that.
Yeah. Uh, Unrelated question, but one of the characters in your book, in fact, Kainaz's husband, you have shown him as a TV personality and somebody who's not active in the TV anymore. But we look at his past character, which was very popular. मुझे ये पूछना था वो मिहिर वीरानी से इंस्पायर था क्या?
Of course. How the nation had broken down when Mihir Virani had died on the show.
I love that touch. मतलब वो early 2000 जो वाला जो era था वो याद आ गया मुझे.
Yeah,
हाँ हाँ.
absolutely. That's exactly what I was going for.
Okay, lovely. So yeah, that brings me to the end of questions that I had for you. The floor is yours. You have read Love and
Yeah.
Melodrama. Just a disclaimer that I want to put out: Love and Melodrama was 2 years back, and I have not talked about that book for a while. Please go on.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the one I picked up of Manali's books. And yeah, I was, again, Manali, I don't know, where to start, but because you have started with this, initially it looks like a lot of froth. So it is
Yeah.
fun, it is fast paced, it is, it's a nice light read. And then somewhere it tugs at your heart. I don't know. I don't want to reveal what
No
happens in the
spoilers.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it is, yeah, it is a lot like that, which is that, it starts off as something which is you're watching a Hollywood Bollywood movie, or one of the TV shows that you watch, and then there are characters, and it's colorful and it's fun, and like, okay, so this is and but later on it becomes very real.
Hmm.
And therefore I want to ask you, how did you how do you feel writing the second half versus the first half, if you can call it half or half?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, there are acts to the entire story, and the second half is definitely more serious.
Hmm.
Uh, we have a question here from the audience, so I'm just going to address that first. We are talking about two books. We are talking about
Yeah,
Zareen's
I'm
book.
holding it up.
Yeah, I'm just going to show the cover again of your book. Wait a minute, give me a second. Yes, we are talking about Zareen's book, The Fabulous Moms of Champion Valley, and my book, Love and Melodrama. And yeah, so to answer your question, this book happens to be a part of a series where I want to give out a message about the various trials and tribulations that come with the romantic kind of love. So that message was particularly in my head while writing this book. Also, I've written one book previously before this, as part of the series, and there's one more book which is going to come sometime in this year or maybe the beginning of 2026, depending on how I'm able to manage to write it. So this series is called Love Trials, and the message that I wanted to give out for all the three books was that uh, कुछ unconventional सा होगा. While trying to tell a fun story, I am trying to give out a message of holding on to your dreams and your passions.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
uh, while doing the first part of the book, both the books, this book also in particular, I wanted to show Gayatri's character as somebody who is naive and who's still figuring out the way of the world,
Hmm.
so to say. And figuring that hours is always fun because you are still young. You don't have as many responsibilities. तो वो उसका स्कूल और कॉलेज वाला फेज है जहाँ पे वी नो दैट शी लव्स डांसिंग बट शी इज स्टिल नॉट एबल टू फिगर आउट हाउ टू मेक दैट पैशन into something that can be much more. At this point, it's just a hobby, and she's also doing some things that that do get her money while she's pursuing that passion. But वो उसका full time profession नहीं है. And she's also focused on this while also figuring out how she feels about the opposite gender. She doesn't have many guy who she is romantically involved with. मतलब कुछ है बट कुछ डेवलप हुआ नहीं है. तो ये पार्ट इज ऑलवेज फन फॉर मी इन एनी स्टोरी. किसी भी रोम कॉम में ले लो. ये वाला पार्ट लिखने में बहुत मजा आता है क्योंकि कैरेक्टर को पता नहीं है कि उसकी जर्नी कहाँ जा रही है.
कहाँ जाने वाली है. You know and you hold the strings.
तो वहां पे यू हैव द फ्रीडम कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि वहां पे क्रिएटिव लिबर्टी मिल जाती है हमें एज स्टोरी टेलर्स की. लेट द कैरेक्टर्स हैव फन, दे आर स्टिल फिगरिंग आउट. बट देन यू वांट टू आल्सो फोकस ऑन कि ये जर्नी उसकी उस पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में जा रही है जहां तुमने सोचा था पहले से कि ये पर्पस है स्टोरी का, ये वाला नहीं है. तो इन द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द स्टोरी आई माई सेल्फ वॉज बिकमिंग मोर सीरियस. मैंने भी उस टाइम पे जब मैं बुक लिख रही थी, one thing I consciously followed was also reading rom-coms with a twist that the audience was not expecting. The reader does not expect कि ये ऐसा twist आएगा इस story में. Off the top of my head, I can think of Baz by Anuja Chauhan. वहां पे भी एंड में ऐसा एक ट्विस्ट आता है कि तुम्हें पता है वो स्टोरी वो डायरेक्शन में जा रही है बट समवेयर यू आर you don't want to
Yeah,
accept.
yeah. I think bars really hit me as well. So it just leaves one of those. I didn't know where the story was going, honestly. So the loss therefore was very unexpected, and therefore, uh, but writing loss is it's a very bold thing to do,
Yeah.
and therefore, okay, I am going to reveal that there is a bit of COVID in there as well, right?
Yeah.
You've a few years of how it was. It's a very dark phase of real life, and
Yeah.
therefore to write it in fiction or to bring that darkness into fiction is how tough was it?
So yeah, that I think वो 2-3 साल सभी के लिए बहुत difficult थे. And I think we may not have had a personal loss where we might have lost someone close to us to the COVID, but personally हम सबको affect इसलिए किया है क्योंकि हमारे सर्कल में किसी ना किसी को वो affect हुआ है. It might not be our immediate family or immediate friends, but हमारे सर्कल में कुछ ना कुछ ऐसा हुआ है जिससे हमें like 1 or 2% तो अफेक्ट हुआ होगा अगर डायरेक्टली भी नहीं हुआ हो. And of course, that time that we were living in, cooped up in our houses, I think वो बहुत डिफिकल्ट था हमारे लिए बिकॉज वी आर सोशल एनिमल्स. और हमको 4 दीवारों में बंद करके रखो तो हमें प्रिजनर वाली फीलिंग आनी ही है. तो So I focused on that feeling that I had during the lockdown कि यार बाहर जाना है, लोगों से मिलना है, बातें करनी है, पर हो नहीं पा रहा है. तो I think I tapped into that particular feeling that I had during the lockdown. और एक और बात ये भी थी कि उस टाइम पे I was also living away from my husband. We were not together during the pandemic. हमारा भी long distance चल रहा था and that was because of the pandemic. तो आई थिंक वो टैप इन करके मैंने जो मैनेज किया, आई थिंक दैट हेल्प्ड अ लॉट. सो आई वो फीलिंग मुझे लानी थी कि यू आर नॉट अलोन इन फीलिंग व्हाट यू आर फीलिंग. वो सबके साथ हुआ था वो पैंडेमिक में, मुझे वो लेट गो नहीं करना था. एंड ऑल्सो कमिंग टू गायत्रीज कैरेक्टर, उसका डेवलपमेंट ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम, आई थिंक दैट वॉज वन ऑफ द इम्पॉर्टेंट टर्निंग पॉइंट्स फॉर हर ग्रोथ. Because during that time she loses someone close to her, and how she handles it and how Varun was a part of that story during that phase of her life, I think वो बहुत जरूरी था मेरे लिए. तो मुझे किसी और ने भी बताया था, when they read the story they told me that many authors now post the pandemic they are not focusing on the bad parts of the lockdown. वो अगर over the years का जर्नी दिखा रहे हैं from 2025 and मतलब later का, they completely let go of the part of the pandemic. वो नहीं लिखना चाहते उस बारे में. But I didn't want to do that because for me it was very important to show that bit and how it affected Gayatri's journey. So मेरा खुद का पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस ड्यूरिंग द लॉकडाउन एंड how I wanted to show Gayatri's journey. I think that
Hmm.
helped me focus on the not so good part about the lockdown.
Hmm. 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 Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Okay, and now the fun bit of it. Tell me how big a Bollywood buff are you because this book is full of Bollywood.
बहुत बड़ी मतलब बचपन पूरा इसी में गया है और अभी तक वो माय लव फॉर बॉलीवुड एंड हिंदी मूवीज एंड एक्चुअली ऑल काइंड ऑफ मूवीज वो आई थिंक इट कम्स इन ऑल माय राइटिंग.
Hmm.
It's very difficult to let go of. Of course, in love and melodrama, it comes across a lot more because वो एक novel है. But in other books also, I have written stories which are about music, and even my poetry also has music in it. तो वो तो नहीं जाएगा.
Okay, because that's always very interesting to see because um, it is very specific, Bollywood and the appeal of Bollywood therefore becomes very North and West India and stuff. So when you putting it in, and it literally defines your characters in your book right now, right?
Yeah.
Because it starts off with the love of cinema and where it goes. So um, it was how did you take that decision to kind of let it be more about Bollywood and it's okay to kind of include so much of Bollywood in it.
I think this had more to do with the kind of personality that my lead character had. वो
Hmm.
खुद इतनी ड्रामेटिक है, उसको खुद इतना पसंद है डांसिंग, सिंगिंग एंड एवरीथिंग दैट कम्स विद मूवीज एंड म्यूजिक. शी इज वेरी वाइब्रेंट दैट वे. तो उसको वो है ऐसी. तो अगर मैं बॉलीवुड उसमें नहीं डालती तो उसके कैरेक्टर का कुछ एक पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट शायद आई वुड हैव लेट गो ऑफ, which would not have done justice to the kind of personality that I was trying to give her. So I think consciously when I was writing Gayatri's character traits, I the first thought that came to my head was कि ये लड़की तो ड्रामेबाज है तो उसके साथ तो बॉलीवुड तो डालना मतलब इम्पेरेटिव है.
Yeah, that's fair because if you personify the character, it is if you personify Bollywood, then the character is Gayatri.
Yes, exactly. So I think it was a natural mashup of Gayatri's personality trait and
Yeah,
Bollywood.
yeah. Yeah, it was a very fun read, and honestly, I mean, yeah, it was surprising in the second half, and yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a long journey. It's a long journey that the two characters make, and I'm assuming they're still making that journey in a parallel universe since the book ends in 2026. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and since it's a series, yes, they will make a reappearance in the third book also.
Oh, okay. So I did not. I knew that they were a part. This was the second book in a series, but it didn't really. I mean, I don't think I've really missed out on things that had happened in the first part. So that is really good. I think that is
Thank you. Thank
that
you.
was
That means a lot. Okay.
yeah,
If we're done with
yeah,
the questions, now
yeah.
we come to the fun part. Oh, also, would you like to read out from Love and Melodrama? Sorry, I completely forgot about that.
No, let's move on, and then I'll come back to some
Okay,
part of it. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So we move on to the rapid fire now, Sareen. How we'll do this is we'll do back and forth. One
Okay,
question I ask, one question you ask.
okay.
Okay?
Okay. Listen,
Uh,
but my questions are very rapid fire, so I'm going to go first, and I'm going to ask all my five in one go.
हाँ हाँ, no
Okay,
problem.
so this is going to
Okay.
be very Karan Johar Coffee with Karan Thoughts because this is a Bollywood book, so I had to keep it in that theme. And also, your answers will have to be very quick, and you have to tell us why. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah.
books or movies?
Books.
Okay, why?
Uh, because it gives me the freedom to imagine them like I want to.
Okay, dance or music?
Music. I have two left feet. I can't dance. No,
Really?
definitely not. Not as well as Gayatri, definitely.
Okay, because well, given that your protagonist is a dancer and I thought some of it will come. So, okay, let me get more specific. In music, is it rhythm or is it lyrics?
Lyrics, for sure. Writer हूँ, दिल से writer हूँ तो पहले तो always lyrics.
Okay. Himesh or A.R. Rahman?
यार ये तो मूड पे डिपेंड करता है ना। अगर इफ आई एम चिलिंग आउट विद माय फ्रेंड्स तो मैं हिमेश ही सुनूंगी। तेरी आंखों
अच्छा।
का बार, तेरा प्यार 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 हुक्का बार, तो मतलब क्लासिक। एंड if
Okay.
I'm sitting and in a bonfire with my friends or we are just chilling out and the vibe is like that, तो फिर तो मैं यार रहमान सुनूंगी ना, रहना तू जैसे तू। हाँ।
Very mood dependent. Okay. Now, what do you enjoy writing more? Youth drama or mature drama?
Wow. Interesting. A mashup of both. Currently, that's what I'm experimenting with also, where, different generations are coming together to sort of connect over this feeling of love and romance. So I always enjoy the mashup more. But हाँ, अगर दोनों में से choose करना पड़े तो youthful romance, because I have the freedom to let the characters explore.
Okay. Uh, um, okay. Reading or writing?
Reading. So
Yeah.
less effort.
Okay. And I'm going
Also,
to
I
end it
can,
with
yeah, I just want to add to that. Also, I can convince myself कि ये तो research है.
okay. Because it was about melodrama,
Hmm.
tell us about, give me an example of a melodrama that has happened around you in your life, or how you have been melodramatic, or
Hmm. Yeah. Wow. I'm always like that. अभी कल का ही मैं example दे देती हूँ. So in Netherlands, I live in the Netherlands. I don't know if you are
oh,
aware
okay.
of. तो पहले वो बता देती हूँ. Yes, I live in the Netherlands, and currently the spring season has started. And winter के बाद spring is always. I'm a different person during the spring and summer season, and I'm a different person in fall and in winter. तो personality पूरा change हो जाता है मेरा 360 degree. So, and right now, the cherry blossom season is also going on. And the cherry blossoms are only there for 3 weeks. वो कब आएंगे कब चले जाएंगे पता भी
Hmm.
नहीं चलता है. You have to be very careful about, observing them and whether you want to enjoy them at the right time. तो वरना आप सोचोगे कि आज जाएंगे और चला गया होगा. And that is exactly what's been happening with us over the past 4 years. हमको नेदरलैंड्स में 4 साल हो गए. एंड एवरी ईयर चेरी ब्लॉसम का सीजन आता है, हम सोचते हैं ये वीकेंड पे जाएंगे, अलाइन ही नहीं होता है, या तो वेदर खराब होता है या हमारे पास टाइम नहीं होता है. बाय द टाइम वी आर फ्री द चेरी ब्लॉसम्स आर ऑलरेडी गॉन. तो दिस ईयर आई वाज वेरी डिटरमिन्ड कि कुछ तो करना है. तो कल ही आई वेंट आउट एंड आई, मतलब वीकडे था, तो आई वाज लाइक वीकेंड का वेट नहीं करना है, वीकेंड का वेट नहीं करना है, वीकडे पे ही मैं करूंगी, और इस साल तो मुझे करना ही है एक्सप्लोर, और फोटोशूट भी करना है. तो मैं चली गई. आई हैड अ लिटिल टाइम ऑन हैंड, वीकडे था तो भी, तो मैं निकल गई. एंड माई हस्बैंड वाज लाइक ये क्या है, तेरा हर साल का है. जबरदस्ती उसको मैं खींच के लेके गई. फिर आई वेंट अलोन देन, एंड देन ही आल्सो जॉइन मी, ही गेव इन मेरे मेलोड्रामा में. उसने गिव अप कर दिया. दैट्स जस्ट वन एग्जांपल ऑफ हाउ आई एम, कि नहीं अभी तो डिटर्मिनेशन आ गया है कि करना ही है.
A little more melodrama would have been if you had gone and sung Ishq Wala Love under the cherry blossom trees.
यू नेवर नो, आई माइट हैव डन दैट, वो किसी मेरे रील में आ जाएगा.
अच्छा.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
that's the kind of person I am, ki grab the moment when you can.
Okay. Nice.
Hmm. Shall I begin with my rapid
Yeah,
fire
yeah,
now?
yeah, sure.
Okay. So my first question to you is, since the book focuses on schools and teachers and academia, I want to ask you, have any educators or parents reached out to you after reading CVS, and what were their remarks like?
Yeah, I was very keen that a lot of people could relate to the book, and they said, "Oh," and they almost everybody came and said, "Is this so and so from our school? Is this based on so and so from our school?" So they also saw the characters that in my head were fictional but are very real. So yeah, I think everybody enjoyed it, saw a little bit of themselves in it, and also saw other people in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular anecdote that stands out for you out of all these feedbacks that you received?
Well, one of my friends came and asked me, "Have you based this book on me?" So that was, and she came and
Wow.
said, "Is Riddhi based on me?" And I was like, "You, nobody can be based on Riddhi. There's a little bit of her in all of us."
रिद्धि तो तोप है यार सच में मस्त कैरेक्टर है वो.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Talking about all the characters, Riddhi, Giselle, Parita, Kainaz, and Jia. One CVS mom that you would like to befriend and one you would stay away from. Tell us the reason also.
Um, I think I would like to give a little more of the spotlight to Jia,
Hmm.
because she is somebody who was not there in the book originally.
Okay.
Then I built her up as a very different character. So her character evolved to become Jia by the end of all the various iterations I had done.
Hmm.
And I think there's a lot of things that I think her life is most interesting,
Hmm.
and therefore, that's somebody I would certainly, whose path I would follow
Hmm.
a little bit more. And who would I want to cut out from all of these?
Hmm.
That's a very, very tough one. Nobody. Yeah, nobody. I think they all have, they're all in the book for a reason, and they all have a journey to make still.
Yeah, but if in your personal life you had to befriend one and remove one from your life, any choice with it?
Uh, I would befriend maybe Riddhi, and I would, and yeah, I no, I would not, I would not cut ties with anyone.
I mean, thoda, distance maintain.
No,
Same
nobody,
distance.
nobody, because they all play a role in your lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, lovely. डेफिनेटली मैं भी रिद्धि के साथ तो दोस्ती करना चाहूंगी. थोड़ा एंटरटेनमेंट चाहिए लाइफ में.
Entertainment value, yeah.
Okay, next one. If you had to describe Ambika in 3 words, what would they be?
Confused, irresponsible, but kind-hearted.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
kind-hearted. And also I would say resourceful. मतलब उसे नहीं आता था but उसने somehow figure out किया and she did a good
Mm.
job of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, next one. If you could add one more mom to the group, what trait would she have?
Um, okay. I would probably add, I thought I had covered the whole spectrum of mums with this book, but um, I would have added somebody who was very, very young.
Hmm.
Um, because their struggles are very different,
Hmm.
and somebody because all these women currently in the book are between the age group of 35 to
Yeah.
45. I
Hmm.
would have liked to add somebody who is 23,
Ah.
and
Hmm.
not 23 because this is an 8-year-old child, but whatever, to in mid 20s,
20.
and see how her life is different and how she would react to things
Hmm.
differently.
Hmm. Yeah, that would have been an interesting mix because these are millennials and boomers, and she
Yeah,
would have been Gen Z.
yeah,
So, मजा आता थोड़ा.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, my last question in the rapid fire. If you were to go on a double date with Varun and Gayatri, where would it be? From
I
love
would,
drama.
yeah, so I would take them straight to Switzerland, where the book starts with Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge. So it's a perfect spot.
Yeah. Oh, oh, wow. Yeah, that would be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would go insane, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings me to the end of the rapid fire round. And since in this season I'm focusing more on my latest book, which is Embraces in Ink, and it has the theme of gratitude in it. There's a segment here which I am doing with all the guests, which is called the Gratitude Bingo.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just need to answer in yes or no.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up till the
Yeah.
time uh, any comments that we have missed that I think we were getting a lot of hearts in between, so I'm just going to say thank you to everyone, and also a lot of laughter emojis when I was reading out from your book. So yeah, here we have it. Give me a second. My
Yeah.
internet is terribly slow today. Yeah, okay. The first one is, did a random act of kindness? You just need to answer in yes or no.
Okay.
Did a random act of kindness?
I did a random act of
Yes, yes, yes.
kindness. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Okay. Next one. Paid gratitude to an object.
No.
I think if you can read at least some of the poems from Embraces in Ink, you will understand why this
Okay.
question is valid. Because I have paid gratitude to so many objects around me, including
Okay.
curtains, the COVID-19 vaccine, and fictional characters, and a lot of
Okay.
things you might not have thought about.
Okay.
Okay. Next one. Wrote a gratitude letter.
Yes.
Okay.
A letter of appreciation. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, great. Said sorry in the last 24 hours.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. Next
Yes.
one.
To
Said
my
thank
daughter.
you. Okay. A follow-up question to that is your daughter falls under which category of the children from this books from CBS?
She is certainly Saira. She is very dedicated, hardworking, very sweet, very knows everything,
Yeah, very smart
and yeah,
for
proper.
her age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very mature for her age.
Okay, next one. Said thank you in the last 24 hours.
Yes,
Lovely. Next one. Hugged someone in the last 24 hours.
yes.
Great. Said something nice or paid a compliment to someone in the last 24 hours.
No, no. I'm sure I haven't.
Oh, you said good things about my book, so it counts.
Oh, okay. All right.
Next one. Forgive someone who hurt you.
In general,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, in general.
yeah, yes,
Okay, next one. Helped someone without any motive or expectation.
yeah.
Okay,
I
great.
guess, yeah.
Next
Hmm.
one. Gave someone a shout out in the last 24 hours.
Do you count? Does this
Yes,
conversation
I
count
count.
then?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I count. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Next one. Listen to someone with empathy and without judgment. In general.
No.
Oh,
Very
okay.
difficult. I may hold back my comments, but I you can't not judge.
Yeah, okay, lovely. Next one. Spend quiet time alone outside.
Rarely.
Okay, next one. Did not complain a whole day.
Never.
I'm just going to address Nilshri here because she's almost always there on the live when I'm doing this with the guests, and we both know कि ये वाले question पे हमेशा ही no आता है. Very rarely have we got a yes. Okay, next one. Wrote three things you like about yourself.
I've never done it.
मतलब not necessarily written, but you thought about yourself कि हाँ ये तीन चीजें मैं बहुत अच्छी कर लेती हूँ.
The- Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Okay,
I've done it.
next one. Wrote three things you like about your parents.
Again, have I thought about them or yes, many times. Never done an exercise as such.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. One. Wrote three things you like about someone you envy.
never done it. Do you get this answer from everyone as well?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
और सबका यही फॉलो अप होता है भाई इतना भी बड़ा दिल नहीं है मेरा. Next one. Wrote three things you like about a friend or colleague.
Yeah, again, not a formal exercise, but yeah, I generally know why I like somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one. Helped, mentored, or shared knowledge with someone.
If teaching my son counts, then yes. No, no,
Okay.
I have, yeah.
Okay. Next one. Watched the sunset in the past month.
No.
करना चाहिए. करो
हाँ.
करो.
I'm
Okay.
in Gurgaon. You can barely see the sky most of the year.
I'm sorry. True.
Yeah.
Okay. Excused. हाँ ये allowed है. कोई बात नहीं. Next one. Observed or appreciated nature and its elements.
Well, much lesser than I should.
Okay. Okay. Next. Sat in the sunlight in the past week.
Again, I'm in Gurgaon. It is too hot to be in the sun, but I have done it in the winters.
Okay, lovely. I think I should add one clause to this क्योंकि ये बहुत सारे लोगों ने बोला है कि हम इंडिया में रहते हैं तुम वहां रहती हो.
Exactly.
Next one. Made someone laugh or smile in the past 24 hours.
Yes, multiple people
मतलब
for
अभी
sure.
ये पिछले 1 घंटे में ही काफी हो गया है तो. Okay, next one. Turned or looked at a negative situation in a positive manner.
I'm sure I have.
Okay, lovely. Next one. Did something this month that you have been wanting to do for a long time.
Not really. Can't think of
Okay,
anything.
okay. Last one. Took ownership or responsibility for your mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, great. You have done fairly well. Congratulations, Zareen.
Do I get a score and do I get a prize?
No, I should start scoring, but you have given me two thoughts today कि वो sunlight वाले में clause add करना पड़ेगा कि अगर आप during winters
Yeah.
and also to start scoring my guess.
Yes. I really appreciate the sunlight in the winters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings me to the end of the gratitude bingo. And I think we are at the end of the episode also. Based just on the score that you have made in this gratitude bingo, I think you are going to enjoy reading Embraces in Ink. So, if possible, do check it out.
Okay, great. I look forward to reading it.
Yeah. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I'm just going to scroll up and see if any comments or questions that we missed out. Shilpa is saying gratitude to objects is usually actually interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting, Shilpa, and I've done it quite extensively in my book. And to things that you might not have considered giving gratitude to. Okay, a lot of hearts were coming in during the entire conversation. So just thank you everyone for showering so much love on me and my guest. And that's the end of today's episode. Any parting thoughts, Zareen? Uh, since I enjoyed the episode so much, and this is a question I specifically asked to those guests I had a wonderful time with. हमें ये बताओ when are you coming up with the next book so I can invite you again.
See, I can write it, but then when it goes into the whole publishing process, it goes into this, this black hole where you don't know when things will come out of it.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm working on something and I'm excited by it. So let's see.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
fingers crossed.
Uh, Sometime in 2025 or early 2026? Any timeline?
Again, I have no idea. Currently, I'm at manuscript stage, and then it goes into just it just takes forever. So
Okay.
let's see. Yeah,
Looking forward to it. And whenever it comes out, I'm sure I'm going to love it. And I look forward to
thank you.
hosting it again if that's possible.
Yes, absolutely. You will go enjoy the sun now.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being on the
Yeah.
show. Had a lovely time. A great weekend. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye bye. Bye.